everybody, what's going on? We're going to be talking about OBS today and setting up OBS for streaming and recording. It's going to be pretty in-depth, and you're able to see how overlays, transitions, and a lot of different things we're going to talk about here. First thing, we're going to start out with the settings. So with that, let's get started. You can see my screen. One thing I do want to mention is I actually did try to do this video earlier, and unfortunately I left the game capture on, and after a certain period of time all you saw was the game. So I had to start over, y'all. All right, so let's get to it. This is basically going to be OBS, except that the scene transition is usually going to be like somewhere over here, but I like mine over here. And yes, you can actually drag these things around, which is very helpful. And I like it in this layout. Now, what we're going to do, you can always go here, name or rename your profile. In this case, mine is named Test. I'm doing it that way so that way I can do this template for you all. And then I have a scene selection. Now, this is my current layout. This is what I use. This is how I have everything set up, whether it be transitions, etc. So we're going to go back to Test because I'm going to show you how to set everything up that way. All right, starting with my starting screen, because when you first start OBS, this is the screen you practically get with a different layout at the bottom because of the scene transitions. But I'm going to come here, I'm going to click on rename, and I'm going to name this Start, because that's going to be my starting screen. From here, actually, you know what, before we actually do that, let's go to settings. From settings, we're going to go to stream. If you're streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, or even multi-streaming or Twitter, you want to go ahead and just click here and connect your accounts because it will actually pre-configure the settings for you that's optimal for streaming. And in my case, I use Twitch. I'm not going to connect. There's no, actually, you know what? Sure. Why don't we do it? Let's connect. We're going to log in. It's going to send me some one-time token. And for that, I'll be right back. All right. So it's authenticating my Twitch account, right? And from here, it's going to say server, auto, recommended, blah, blah, blah. I'm in Texas, so I can choose the nearest one to me. I can either choose Dallas or Houston. And in this case, I'm going to leave it auto because it usually is really good about that. There's some Twitch add-ons. I personally use Better TV and Franker Face, and I'll show you why. You can do the enable bandwidth test mode. It's not really necessary, and it already has it pre-configured for me. So my maximum video bitrate is 6,000 kbs, and you will notice that at the bottom right here when you're streaming. And my maximum audio bitrate is 320 kbs. Totally fine. So we're going to go to our output settings. Mine is already pre-configured, but let's go ahead and start. So my encoder is actually going to be, oh, wait, no, it's not completely set up. So it's going to be NVIDIA NVENCH CH.264 new. If you do not have an NVIDIA graphics card, that is okay. It will go default to 264. I'm using new because I have a 2080 Ti. I love my graphics card. All right, so starting with that, you know, you can do your bitrate. I keep mine at 6,000. You can actually keep it back at 25,000. So we'll just leave it as is for now. Alrighty, so under the quality presets, oh, look at that. There it is. All right, so you can choose max quality, quality performance, max performance, low latency quality, and low latency performance. I'm going to go with what it was, quality. And that's because I'm using the NVIDIA NVENC H.264. I don't need to look ahead. You can if you want to. that tells you all of the things that are the little options here. You want to make sure your key interval frame is 2. All right, GPU should be 0 because if you're using a custom-built PC, it's only going to use your default graphics card, and that's usually going to be GPU 0. If you have an extra graphics card in your PC, meaning more than one, you can select 1 and that'll go to your second graphics card. But most people usually just have one graphics card, so keep it at 0. All right, max B frames, 2. You want to leave that as is. Now, if you want to rescale, you actually can select here and rescale to whatever it is. Usually you can only downscale, you can't upscale. So I could downscale to 720p, but in this case, I'm recording and streaming at 1080p, so we're going to leave it unchecked. All right, recording. For those of you who want to store your files elsewhere than the presets of your video, you want to go to Browse, and in my case, I'm saving mine under Storage, Stream Elgato. Now, my recording format, I prefer MP4. Sorry about that, y'all. I got tongue-tied. My encoder, I actually want to use NVIDIA right here. So I'm going to keep this the same. I'm going to keep this the same. I'm going to put 2 on my key interval. So basically what I did with my stream, I'm going to do with my recording. So I'm going to keep it quality. I'm going to keep it high and make sure that everything is set up correctly. And then my files will be stored where I put them under Storage, Stream Elgato. Audio bitrate, I don't need to change this. This is for each track. And then there's replay buffer. I don't need to worry about that either. These are all set up the way that I want them. Audio, okay, so I kind of cheated a little and went ahead here. But I don't need to change anything on my sample rate. But if you're using Streamlabs OBS, and this is pretty much the same layout, if you're using Wavelength, you want to drop it down to 44.1. That's the only way it's going to work actually with Wavelength in Streamlabs OBS. I'm just showing you for OBS. I will actually do another video showing you Streamlabs OBS at another time. For now, my mic is going to actually be Wavelength, so I'm going to use this here, but I have an array of microphones I could choose from. But because I use Wavelength, I'm going to stick with Wavelength. Another thing is the monitoring device. Most people have speakers and they have a headset. I like to hear everything through my headset when I'm streaming. That's why you see that big thing in my teeny tiny head. But I'm going to choose my monitoring device as my headphones and my Razer Neri. And I'm going to go under Game because that's where I can hear it. The reason why I'm not selecting chat is because chat is actually my microphone. So I don't need to worry about anything else here. If I do not have a Stream Deck, I can enable push to talk, or what is it? Push to mute, push to talk. Those are hotkeys. Those are for people who do not have a Stream Deck. If you know how to use hotkeys, you can actually configure it the way that you want. I don't use hotkeys because I have a Stream Deck. All right, we're going to go to video. Under video, my base canvas resolution is 1080p, and the reason why is because my monitors are 1080p. If you have a higher, I want to say a higher monitor, like 4K, or what is it? There's 2K, 4K, and I don't think that an 8K monitor actually exists in this day and age yet. But in the future, I'm sure. I mean, there are 8K TVs, but you know, let's not get ahead of ourselves. 4K is more than enough. All right, so my base canvas is also my same as my output because I'm not downscaling anything. My downscale filter, I'm going to use Lanco's Sharpened Scaling 36 samples. It actually makes your picture look clear to your viewers, and it adds a really nice sharpness to it. You can choose whichever FPS you want. I'm going to stay with 60 because that's what the monitor can do, and that's what the program can do. And I'm going to go to Advanced. I don't need to set up hotkeys, but again, if you do not have a Stream Deck, if you do not have some kind of I want to say way of setting up hotkeys as far as like a Stream Deck. I'm doing this backwards. If you have a Stream Deck, or if you have something that's very similar to a Stream Deck, there's quite a few other competitors out there. You don't need to use hotkeys. If you just have a keyboard and a mouse, you can set up hotkeys. It will work. You just have to remember what you set up for what function. I don't need hotkeys. I use a Stream Deck. Alrighty. And if you're wanting a Stream Deck, wait for the sales. Trust me, they will be rolling in. All right, advanced. So I'm going to go to changing it to process priority high. Mine's already pre-configured. I don't mess with the rendering because there's only one option for me anyways. Alrighty, color format. It's going to be MV12. That is default. You can change it, but there's no need to. The color space, I keep it 709. And I keep my color range full because my PlayStation 5, my Xbox, and my Switch are enabled under full range for color. And it's mainly because I'm streaming most of the time when I'm playing. And the only time that I'm not putting it in full or when I don't care is when I'm actually on my own TV. But it still stays in full. I just have it set up that way so I can just transport them from room to room, whether I'm lounging about or I'm streaming here live. All right, so recording. File name format. You can leave as is. This isn't going to matter because at some point when you upload your video or when you're streaming live, this isn't going to be there. This is mainly for when you're recording. And then when you upload your file anyways, it's going to have its own title after you configure everything. Stream delay. I don't like stream delay, so you can set up a stream delay if you prefer. There's no need for it, but if you do, you can definitely enable it. Automatically reconnect. So if your internet drops for whatever reason, and in the beginning of my streaming days and not so long ago, I would have internet drops, which have, changed because I just switched out a modem and I got a VPN, a router, and I have a regular router. So my networking is taken care of now. And then fingers crossed, Google Fiber is coming out. Anyways, I automatically reconnect should the internet drop. And it's going to take it, a 10-second delay for the retry. And it's going to try at least 20 attempts. And usually it reconnects because the internet could drop for 5 seconds and you wouldn't even know it. But then, everything that's connected to the internet is going to try to reconnect. So this is something that's going on in the back end. Totally fine. The network, you can bind it to your IP. I'm actually not going to click on this because I don't want you all to see my IP address. So I'm going to keep it default just for safety reasons. But if you want to bind it to your IP address, you technically can. If you have a VPN router like I do, it'll pull up your VPN IP address. It does work through VPN, but honestly, I don't need to switch it. I like it default because default actually works quite well for me. Dynamically change bitrate to manage congestion. This has helped me in so many ways not have any dropped frames. So this is going to be great for you as far as your settings. Enable browser source hardware acceleration. For me, this was already there. I've never had an issue, so I've never disabled it. Hotkey focus behavior. It says never disable hotkeys. Disable hotkeys when main window is in focus. Disable hotkeys when the main window is not in focus. I don't have hotkeys set up. I don't really need to worry about this. If you're one of those that you want to be nitty gritty about it, you can, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to select apply and okay. Oh, look at that. My little stuff for Twitch is popping up here. So these are docs. Okay. And, if you want more than Streamlabs actually has this automatic, which one thing I do love about Streamlabs OBS, but, they have it work with YouTube. They have it work with Facebook. They have it work with Twitch. But when you sign in through OBS with the others, there is no chat box. And yes, you do see that there. I did reach affiliate status, and thank you so much for the views for those who were on Twitch. I'm very, very, very grateful. Thank you. All right, so let's get to it. From here, we're going to go to View Docs. I like to add a little bit more because when I'm streaming, this is what I like to see. I like to see my stats, and here's why. No. Go on the end. Go on the end. There we go. All right. There we go. So, and yes, you can reorganize these things. I don't really have... Oh, I got a subscriber. Okay, so I don't really have on my Stream Deck a viewer count telling me how many viewers I have because this will tell me when I'm live, when I'm online, how many people are viewing. So this is what I get to see. I get to see you all chat when you're chatting. I get to change all of the stuff that I'm doing when I'm doing my stream, but I also want to see who my new followers are, right? So I want to keep up with the current. So I'm going to go to Twitch activity feed. And it's going to tell me everybody who's just recently followed me. So we've got here Bitter Lion. It's my first sub for 6 months. Oh, awesome. Thank you. And then we've got Super Nikon Gaming's gaming channel. Super Nikon's gaming channel. Oh, cool. Thank you for the follow. But it tells you who follows you. And so that's why I have my Twitch. This is actually my entire layout for my dock with Twitch, for my chat, for my views, for what's going on and who followed me, and to update my game, you know. So if I'm streaming, for example, Zelda Breath of the Wild, I'm going to have that in here and I can update that before my stream. Streamlabs, actually, before you hit live, Streamlabs OBS, it asks you for all of that information, which is great. I actually love that feature. You know, there was once upon a time where I had to basically go into every website when I was multi-streaming, make sure that it was set up. Restream was really good about it, but sometimes it wouldn't update, so I'd have to go in there and update the thumbnails and everything. So condensing it down to one streaming platform has actually been very wonderful for me. And I love live streaming on Twitch because that's where the gaming community that I'm building and interacting with is wonderful for me. But, you know, in the future, you never know. But right now, I'm happy with Twitch. I do upload all of my how-to videos on YouTube, so you will see this here very shortly. So let's get started. We're going to go to start, right? Because that's where I came to rename everything. But for right now, so that way we don't have distractions with the Twitch dock, we're going to basically go to vanilla mode. Alrighty. So here's our start menu. I mean, our start scene, because this is what we're naming the scene. We're going to go to a source. And we are going to do, you know what? Let's go ahead and start with our overlay. Let's do a media source. And we're going to call this starting. Can I spell today? Oh my God. All right. So we're going to go to OK. Now, mine is an animated overlay. And I will post a link for the overlay for those who may like it. But this website has like an array of overlays. And it's not just one site. You know, there's plenty of them out there. If you have Streamlabs and you've bought the membership for Prime on Streamlabs, not Amazon Prime, I'm talking about Streamlabs Prime. Then you actually can just do the overlays yourself. You don't actually have to go to an outsource and buy the overlay files, but I bought them because I use OBS. All right, so I'm going to click on loop, and then I'm going to go to where my overlays are. And in this case, mine is called Swift. So we're going to go here, we're going to go to screens, and right here is my starting screen. So what I'm going to do is lock it in place. Now, you'll notice that this screen does not have any audio. So I can mute it and I can hide it because I don't want that to be a distraction from my actual mic. And if you can see, it's going to show you the mic meter, but I actually am recording it on another screen. So I don't really need to have the mic going in both places. Now I'm going to add a music file because when I usually start my stream, I like to have music start to let you all, you know, hear something instead of stagnant air while I'm, you know, preparing to set up and jump onto the camera and say hello to everybody. So we're going to go to media source again because music is a media source. So I'm going to call this music. You can call it intro music. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm going to have it loop because if I'm running late or something, it'll continuously play it until I switch to the next scene. All right, so I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to I'm going to go to stream. You know what? I should probably save this in my quick links. Can I? No, not yet. Okay, that's cool. I'll do it later. So I'm just going to choose, you know, whatever royalty-free, DCMA-free strike kind of thing. I don't want anything that has copyright. I don't want to get striked. So I'm going to come here and I'm just going to loop my music. And I'm going to select OK. Now, when you see on the right-hand side here, that music, it's blaring. You see it, it's blaring super loud in your ears. You can't hear it because, you know, I'm not going to actually have that go out super loud, but I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to drop down the decibels just to where it's in the green. So that way I know you can hear it, but it's not like killing your ears. Now the thing is, I want to hear the music when I'm switching from one screen to the next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Advanced Audio Properties, and I just clicked on the cogwheel here. I didn't right click. I didn't do anything. I just clicked on that cogwheel, and I'm going to go to Advanced Audio Settings. So my music is not being monitored, but it's there. So I know it's there. But if I want to monitor it, I can monitor it and mute the output, or I can monitor an output. Monitor and output will actually output it to your headphones. So you're able to hear whatever it is you chose, so that way you can see if it flows well. All right. So in this case, I'm just going to mute the music for right now. But if you actually know what, I'll leave it on, because I'll show you what I'm going to do next. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to screen transition, because this is my starting screen. I'm locking them in place. I don't need to change anything here. But we're going to basically do a brand new scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to add a stinger. I've already done this. I've called it Swift before. We're going to call it Swift 1 just for whatever. Milliseconds. I'm actually going to put this as 1500 because I had to learn how to set this up. They didn't actually, when I bought the package, they didn't tell you the transition point. So it was a lot of legwork to figure it out. And I actually figured it out in Streamlabs OBS because it already had it set up that way. There is a file that they give you where you just click on it and it already imports everything in Streamlabs OBS. So there are people who, when you buy these things, they give you like the full stream package. And basically it's a little thing you click on and it installs it for you, which is a godsend. If it doesn't do that, then you're doing it manual like I'm doing right now. So it's going to be transition point 1500 for this particular transition that I have. And what I'm going to do, I don't need to monitor this. You can, if you want to, monitor an output just like you do with the music, but you don't have to. Sometimes some of these don't even have transitional music, but if it does, you can monitor it and output it if you want to hear it in your headset. So what I'm going to do is go back to Stream Overlays. I'm going to go back to Swift. I'm going to go to Installation, and then I'm going to go to my transition because that's what this is. And I'm going to select Open. All right, so we're on Swift 1, right? That's what we called it, Swift 1. Now I'm going to create a new scene because at this point, this is going to take me into my second scene. My second scene is going to be my live scene. And as you see, if we clicked on it, so if we go back, you're going to see the transition already started. So it's going to basically, oh, come on, loop. It was running a little behind. So that's how you do a transition. So as you're switching whatever button, for example, me, I have a Stream Deck configured. I'll show you my configuration here. All right, so here's my template for my Stream Deck. Oh, come on, let me bring it over. Sorry, y'all, it's a little glitchy. But this is my OBS. This is why I call it Any, because it's my profile. It's going to take a moment to open it up. All right, so I basically have my record button configured here. I have my scene 1, my scene 2, my scene 3, my scene 4, my scene 5, my cover, my chat, my social pop-up. The social pop-up tells you like the little things that you've been seeing recently on Twitch. My webcam, my microphone, my Discord. All right, my going live message, my going back to my normal. These are my bot commands that I use for Streamlabs. So instead of me having to type everything, I just push this button and it fills out everything for me. I can clear my chat. So, you know, this thing comes in handy. This is going to be where I turn on my lights for Control Center. This is my, you know, quick tweet. That did not come out right, y'all. This is my quick tweet. So whatever I'm streaming is going to push that to Twitter and say, hey, I'm going live on Twitch. And then, of course, you know, I'm running ads on Twitch whenever that happens. And then my Facebook, it posts, you know, to my friends and family, letting them know I'm going live in case they want to hang out. This closes out everything for me. And this tells me my CPU usage. But I have mine configured in a way where I'm able to do that directly, and then it controls it through OBS. So I've set it up that way. So from live, we're going to go ahead and start with our capture card. Alrighty, we're going to go to, where is it? Video capture device. I'm going to call it Elgato. select OK. And I have an array of video devices to choose from. I'm going to actually choose my game capture. You won't see it, but it's there. And if you noticed, it's here in my source, and it's also here in my audio mixer. Now, because I'm doing everything through Wavelink, you're not going to see this here. If you do not see it showing up in your audio mixer, or you don't see sound coming through, you can actually go here and hide it. And then you can come here to audio input. We'll call it Elgato Audio. And you can come here and you can actually go to where it says Game Capture HD60S+, because that's what I use. And it'll actually put the game capture through here. So if it doesn't show up the first time around here and you don't see the audio and your device is connected and no music is coming through, you can do it this way. And I will give you a quick demonstration of that. That's my switch. You know, you're able to see me clicking on something, and that's going to be the game capture. The reason why you can't see the screen is because it's actually on my left screen. Now, if I wanted to show you that it's connected, there you go. It's showing you that it's connected. All right, so in this case, we're going to go ahead and mute that because honestly I use Wavelink, so I don't need it. But we're going to leave that there just for, you know, anybody who's going through the steps of setting it up and they don't have certain things. These are options for you. Now, if I wanted to hear my game, because you want to set up your audio, but let's just say, you know what, I set this up and I can't hear the game. Well, you're going to come here and you're going to click on that cogwheel next to your audio. You're going to go to Advanced Audio Properties, and you see how we set it up, Elgato Audio. We want to monitor an output, so that way we can hear it in our headset. So now I should be able to hear that as I'm playing whatever game. I'll hear the game coming directly through there, and so will the viewers. The viewers will automatically hear it. That's just how it's hardwired. But if you want to hear it, you want to monitor an output, because it's going to output to your device that you're listening to. All right, so the next thing is, I like to have a cover, right? So when I'm doing like a stream or whatever, before I jump onto camera, I like to have a cover. But let's set up our camera real quick. We'll call it camera. You're not going to see me on camera. But here's my Brio. This is my camera. Alrighty. And it is going to be 709 full. And we're going to select OK. Now I usually put it here because it was recommended that for some reason or another, it's just better when you're doing this on Twitch, so that way you're not like all over the place on certain things or disabling certain things that people can't see through certain apps. I don't know, that's what I was told, but it depends on the game. Sometimes there's certain games where I'll be to the left or I'll be to the right. At one point I used to be at the top. So, you know, you can put your camera wherever. Personally though, I actually don't mind being at the bottom right. I cover up the map, you get to see the gameplay. And when I say that, I'm referring to like Breath of the Wild. In this case, I'm going to turn off my camera right now because I don't have it going on. But for those who have a green screen, so we're going to talk about filters now. And as you're seeing this, I'm setting this up live for you all to see. We're going to come here, we're going to go to Chroma Key, and this is actually where we get to control everything for the green screen. Because I already have mine pre-configured, I don't need to worry about this. But for those who are starting out, you just use those sliders. You play around with it until your green screen disappears and it's just you on the back of a gray screen. When you actually are streaming live, you will appear directly onto whatever it is you're doing. If you're wanting to put yourself inside of a little box or whatever, like an overlay, you can do that. It is not hard to do. You would come here, we would go to, I want to say another media source, and we'll call this camera overlay. You can come here, you can click on loop, browse, and in this case, I'm going to go here, we're going to go to screens. Here's a webcam overlay, right? So if I wanted to fit myself in a little box, I would basically, you're going to see my camera right here, right? Oh, wait, I locked it. So if I wanted to fit myself inside of a camera overlay, right here. And as you can see, it's going to do this, but now I'm going to lock it. And what I'm going to do is highlight them both, and I'm going to actually, where is the group? Group selected. And I'm going to name it camera, camera box. There you go. I'm just, I'm being random about it, but it's grouped, so I could turn it off, I could turn it on. And now that I've already moved my camera inside of this box, I can resize it. Some people have that. That's how that usually works. And it does it with all different shapes. So, if you want to do it, you can actually mask, which is a pretty cool thing. But if you look here, I don't really want the audio from my camera to come through because I have a microphone set up. And I don't want, all of these things to show up in my audio mixer. So what I'm doing is I'm muting the stuff that I don't want to come through, and I'm hiding it. So I'm hiding the camera audio, and I'm hiding the overlay audio because there's no need to have it on. They don't project sound. If I want to set up my microphone, for example, a separate microphone, because like I showed you, mine is automatic. My mic default is going to be wavelength. I'm actually going to go to audio input, and I'm going to name this mic 1. And I'm going to choose my Razornary chat because let's just say, you don't have wavelength, but you want to learn how to set up your microphone. So you would go do what I did, audio input, and then from here, you're going to select whatever device your microphone is, and then you're going to be able to see your microphone here, and it'll show up here. In this case, I'm just going to leave that there for you all. I really don't need to worry about it for myself because mine is automatic to the stream, the wavelength stream. All right, so we're going to turn off our camera box because it's driving me bonkers right now. But now I want to set up my game cover, right? So I'm going to go to image because it's a static image. A static image means that it's a still image. A still image means that it's not animated. It does not move. So it's just an image. And I'm going to call this cover. All right, so I'm going to go to browse. And I actually have my game covers set up here. I'm going to select Zelda. That's actually the game that I'm going to be streaming next, which is on Saturday. It's going to be a nice chill game where we're going to do some Koroxide hunting. So if you want to come hang out with me, check me out on Twitch on Saturday, and we'll be playing some Zelda Breath of the Wild. All right, so, when I set up my Stream Deck and I click that button that I showed you where it said cover, it's going to turn that on and off. Now, if you don't have a Stream Deck, you don't have the patience for hotkeys, you can just come here and click it because this will display it for you as I'm showing you. So if I move from this scene to this scene, it'll basically, whatever you have visible or turned on or turned off is going to do what it is on stream. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and turn these two off right now. Our Elgato would actually be showing up here if it were on the screen, but it's actually going to be on my left screen, so you're seeing that there. All right, so let's see, widgets. So you know how some people have those really cool little alerts letting you know, hey, so-and-so subscribed. That's actually a browser widget. So that's where this is going to come in handy. And we're going to go to our widgets over here. Okay, so here's a list of all of the widgets that Streamlabs has to offer. I do it through Streamlabs. There are a few others out there. I think there's one called Stream Elements. Some people use them. I tried to use them. It's very similar to Streamlabs, but honestly, I personally like the way Streamlabs is. But I throw it out there because I feel like every company deserves a fair chance to have a mention. And I actually do use Streamlabs OBS too. It's very much like OBS, except there are certain things that you can do on Streamlabs that you can't do on OBS. They're pretty much both are the same though. But I personally like using regular OBS when it comes to my streams just because I have my Twitch layout set up the way that I want it. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about alert boxes. You are not going to see my URL, but you can copy yours when you set it up. And we're going to come here. We're going to go to alert box, right? And that's what I'm going to call it. It's going to ask me for whatever my URL is that I copied and pasted here. In this case, first let's do it real quick. You'll probably see that if you pause it real quick. Not that it matters, but it's unique to each individual. So like if you were to copy my URL, it would be showing up on your stream. So don't copy my URL, just use your own. All right. I like my alerts to actually be in the center, or if you want to put it like dead in the middle of your stream, you can. I feel that's a little bit obnoxious. So I don't like it in the middle, but I don't mind it at the bottom and be like, hey, you know, here's a little reminder. Somebody just subscribed with you. So we're going to test that out actually. So you can see what I'm showing you. Okay, hold on. Maybe I should do it on this one. Wait, I don't need to do it that way. Oh, here we go. Let's test to follow. It's only showing up on my left one? Aw, man. Okay, hold on. I thought it was going to actually work, but... So I don't know if it's showing up for you all or not. I hope it does. And if not, that's okay. Okay, so... Right. Anyways, when you lock them in place, you can't move them. So if you don't lock the things in place, you can move them around. So keep in mind that the lock means that it's stuck in that situation there, that position. Alrighty, let's see here. There's a couple of things in Streamlabs, so we're just gonna play around. If you're like me and you like to use a custom bot, I mean not a custom bot, a custom command, we're gonna go to CloudBot. CloudBot is provided directly from Streamlabs, and it is going to be my commands. So this tells you, like when I push these buttons that I showed you on Stream Deck, if I do live, it tells you I'm going live. If it does tips, you know, you can do a donation. I set it up that way so that way it's not intrusive to others. You know, some people, they like to remind you, and I have a career. This is a hobby for me, so I'm grateful with anybody who does donate, but I don't expect it. You know, it's just a little, you know, if you want to do it, there's a link, and then we just carry on. Here's my thanks for watching. You know, at the very end of the streams, I hit this button and it thanks you all for watching. And I do generally thank everybody for watching because I'm very grateful that you do. And then here's my link for Discord. So like I'll post that in there. And I used to have quite a few things set up, but I've changed a couple of things around. So my squid does emotes, and this is a thing on Twitch. You know, there are a lot of emotes. I think a couple of competitors. I don't know if Facebook is doing it, but I think YouTube has something similar. I have not reached that status, so I don't know. But emotes are very big on Twitch, and so it'll do my squid emote, it'll do my Pokemon emotes, and then I have one for maps for when I play Breath of the Wild. So that's why I have the commands set up this way, so that way when I do it, I can just push a button without having to type all of this stuff out. And that's pretty much what I use this for. Now, the other thing I want to mention, and it is going to be under Discord overlay. Okay, here we go. So, install for OBS, because that's what we're using. Now it's going to say select a server. I'm going to choose my server. All right, so here's the link that it's going to give me, and you're not going to be able to see everything on here. But this is kind of where, when you see another thing for Discord, we're going to call this Discord. Right, okay, so from here, right, because you're always going to see this when you start a new browser alert or widget. And in this case, this is going to be my Discord widget, so that way you know who's speaking when we're playing Dead by Daylight or when we're playing any multiplayer games. This is how I get my Discord to show up that, you know, we're in Discord hanging out, doing a party chat. I won't do party chat through Elgato's chat link because it's too much of changing a couple of settings around, and I've worked around it, and it sounds so much better through Discord. So I have Discord coming through my actual wavelength, so that way we can all do party chat together. But all right, so let's get to it. I want to, show everybody who's talking when we're in Discord. So I'm going to select my channel, and I'm going to go down to, oh, wait, where is it? Live streams, friends, rules, blah, blah, blah. No. Voice widget. This is what I was looking for. I was in the wrong one. Sorry, y'all. So I'm going to select voice chat, and it's basically going to have the little overlay right here. So this is what it looks like on your screen. It says show speaking users only, small avatars, hide names. No, I like the names to show up, so it'll tell me who's talking. So this is what I have set up, and then I just copy this thing here. I'm going to copy it. Now you want to copy it for your own because, again, it is unique towards URL. So in this case, I'm going to copy paste it. We're going to resize this. Actually, you know what? We don't even have to do that. I think that's pretty decent. We can lock that in place. I'm going to move my cover back to the top because when I actually do it, I like it to cover everything and then basically reveal itself, me on camera, etc. I know it's going to be a pretty long video, but honestly, we're wrapping up. All right, so we're going to work on the last two scenes here, right? So in this case, I don't need to worry about this. And now we're going to go to, when we call this ending, right? So we're going to call this end. We'll just do one scene. So this is my ending scene. We're going to go to media source again. We're going to call this ending. Now I actually have like 5 scenes on my other one. One is be right back. One is offline. And then there's one that's ending. So we're going to go to browse. We're going to go to my overlays. Wait, that's social callouts. Oh, my overlays disappeared. Okay, that's fine. Overlays. That happens a lot with quick access, by the way. All right, so we're going to go to screens. And here is my ending screen. Now, I already have music set up, right? Because I have my starting and my ending music the same. So I'm going to go to media source. And look at that. It already has everything there. I can select music from here. And it has the same setting. So you don't need to change anything. And then if I wanted to do an offline one, I'm going to call this off. And it's a static image. So we're going to say offline. Right, so we're going to go to here. Here's my offline scene. And I want to do music, so that way the music is still rolling when I'm switching from the start, the ending, or the off. I want the music to remain the same. So I'm going to go here to media source again, and I'm going to select music, and I'm going to select OK. I don't need to worry about these being locked into place or not, because I'm not resizing anything. But this is pretty much how overlays work. Alrighty, so from here, oh, I guess I did do it with speaking only. We can switch that. But, that's the link for the Discord stream kit. All right, here, you clearly see that the music is not playing, so I don't need to worry about muting or unmuting. It's just as a matter of a screen transition, and then the music stops. And then once you exit OBS, everything is done. But from here, you want to make sure that you probably unmute or mute your mics, because that's like the biggest fail that happens to most people. So don't forget to turn on your mics when you switch transitions from screen to screen. So if you're going from here, you already know your music is on, but if you're going live, you want to make sure that your mic is set on, whether it be this mic or this mic. So that way you're able to make sure that you're live. So, we want to make sure people can see us talking. So it's going to have the little bar moving. And then when we want to mute ourselves, we turn it off. Hopefully this has helped you figure out how to configure everything. Again, if you want to make sure that you're listening to a specific thing, if you don't have Wavelink, you want to make sure you go to Advanced Audio Properties under Audio Mixer, and you select Monitor and Output. A lot of people said that this was one of the details that they were missing in OBS. I hope this has helped you. Thank you for your time. The video turned out to be a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but I wanted to give you an in-depth of how my setup is and hope that this helps you with your setup. Thank you again for tuning in. I will see you all next week with a new video. And if you want to watch me during a stream, You're more than welcome to follow me on Twitch and hang out with me. And if you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful evening.